A life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had, but not preserved, except in memory. Live long and prosper. Hey Nathan, it's Monday, March 2nd. A week ago, Leonard Nimoy made that little piece of poetry, his last statement to the world through his Twitter account. He had announced the day before that he would be sharing his poetry on Twitter, but that aptly worded last tweet might have been his indication to us that he knew that the end was near. Nimoy had been in and out of the hospital quite frequently the past few weeks, and sadly he passed away last Friday. Nimoy was a hero to us and to many others, understandably. Through his role of Spock on Star Trek, he showed many people, young and old, that being a nerd is cool and desirable. I think he could tell from early on the influence that playing that role and the popularity of his role gave him. He used that influence to spread goodness and equality, even if it was sometimes just through small acts. For example, I was reading this article from a 1968 teen magazine called Fave, in which a young girl addressed a letter to Mr. Spock. She told him that she was biracial, with a white father and a black mother, and that she felt a similarity to Spock with him being half Vulcan, half human. She also said that she felt like because of her difference that she would never really make any friends, that she'd never fit in anywhere, and people just kind of hated her because of her difference. Leonard Nimoy decided to respond to the girl for Spock and to tell her how he overcame those similar struggles. He told her that Spock realized as a young Vulcan-human hybrid that it's more important to stay true to yourself than to long for popularity, especially since it can be so fleeting and shallow. He said the bullying usually stems from people just wanting to be popular themselves and to not take it to heart. If you truly find what it is in yourself that you can offer to the rest of the world, the people who want to be friends with you for the right reasons will find you and will be friends with you. He finished his response by saying Spock didn't try hard to be liked, but to be accomplished, not to be popular, but to be intelligent. Not powerful, but useful. I love that he recognized this young girl's need to be accepted, but that he also recognized her need to be reminded that true friends like you because of who you are, not because of how you look. Nimoy also worked to make sure that his fellow Star Trek actors were treated fairly. When he found out that Nichelle Nichols was being paid less than Walter Koenig and George Takei, he talked to the producers and convinced them to give her equal pay. He made sure that the cast of Star Trek stayed together when it was made into an animated series. He refused to play the voice of Spock until Nichols and Takei were hired on to play their roles. I think Leonard Nimoy had mixed feelings about his deep connection with the character Spock. He wrote an autobiography titled I Am Not Spock, and then later wrote his second autobiography, I Am Spock. He even said that while shooting Star Trek, his being kind of melded Star Trek jokes with Spock's, sometimes even being overtaken by it. Throughout the week, he would be in character always, feeling slightly more logical, intelligent, and calm. It would kind of fade by Sunday, but only to start right back up on Monday. He even helped to create integral characteristics of Spock and Vulcan culture. The Vulcan hand symbol was thought up by him, inspired by a Jewish priestly blessing, which went kind of like, I think it looked, yeah, like that. He saw it as a child when his grandpa took him to an Orthodox synagogue, and it made a lasting impression on him, obviously. The blessing came along with a prayer that God would take care of the blessed and basically help them to prosper, so Nimoy probably thought that went well with the Vulcan greeting, live long and prosper. And just FYI, the lesser known response to that Vulcan greeting is peace and long life. So yeah, now you can out-nerd the nerds. Nimoy also created the Vulcan nerve pinch, the one where a Vulcan can induce unconsciousness by pinching, you know, like the shoulder neck area, just kind of like, oh, gotta be more careful with that. Anyway, Nimoy wanted a more sophisticated method of knocking someone out, basically, than by just hitting them with the butt end of the phaser. And since Spock knew kind of human anatomy well and could release a special energy through his fingertips, Nimoy argued that that would be a way cooler way of rendering unconsciousness. I'd like to end by saying that a little over a year ago, Leonard Nimoy tweeted, "Want to take me as your honorary grandfather? Done. Tell all, live long and prosper." To which I quickly replied that he is now indeed my honorary grandfather. I'm super bummed that he's gone, but he definitely left behind an amazing legacy. Nathan, live long and prosper, and we'll see you on Wednesday.